What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Fearless Nick YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over my round 18 2022 AFL tips / predictions. And obviously, as we always do, we're going to be also looking back over my round 17 tips from last week and seeing how I went. If you go on to enjoy this video, remember to like, share, subscribe. Like I've said, I'm trying to hit 300 subscribers by the finals, and I need all your help to do so. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button down below yet, now is your time to do so. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get stuck in it. So as we do every week on the channel with the tipping videos, we review the previous round. In this case was round 17. I got a measly 5 out of 9 this week. Very, very disappointing. I think a lot of people probably would have got maybe 6, 7, maybe around that mark. I got a 5, bit disappointing, although I've had a lot of disappointing results to be fair. But anyways, let's go through them. First game, we've got Geelong and Melbourne. I did tip Melbourne to get this one done. I thought, the last time they played there, Melbourne got the job done. And the Cats, well, they sort of avenged themselves from last year in that prelim and also round 23 last year, getting a very comfortable 28-point win over the D's, which is really impressive. And I'd probably say the Cats are probably premiership favourites now after that one. Next game at the SCG, we had the Swans and the Dogs. Swans got it done by 53 points, and I tipped the Bulldogs, which made it even worse. Not a good result. It was a good result for Richmond's sake, but not a good result for my tip's sake. The Swans, well, they really needed that after their loss to the Bombers. Puts them back in the finals hunt, and I'd say they're probably almost a lock for the top 8 now. I don't see them dropping out now. But yeah, anyways, got that tip wrong as well. Next game at the MCG. It was a very interesting game, this one. Collingwood and North Melbourne, and that's probably the best fight I've seen North Melbourne put up all season. I mean, they were in front for 3/4 of the match. They just screwed it up late. Collingwood, they're a good side, Collingwood. It wasn't like they were just going to roll over. They were always going to fight back. But yeah, North, unlucky not to get the win there. They played really, really well, North. But yeah, unfortunately, they just don't know how to win. And Collingwood make it 7 wins in a row now, I think. So Collingwood, they're in really, really good form at the moment. Next game at Metricon Stadium, we got Gold Coast and Richmond. And everyone knows the result. I don't really want to talk about this game. It was a pathetic game from Richmond's point of view. Like I said, if you haven't watched my match day vlog for this game, it was out a couple days ago, so go give that a watch. But anyways, Noah Anderson after the siren broke my heart, and got the tip wrong as well, which was even worse. So good win by the Suns, but I'm still not very happy about that game. Next game at Marvel Stadium, we had the Saints and the Dockers. I did tip Freo in this one. I thought about changing to St Kilda, but I'm like, nah, Freo have been the better team probably for most of the year. And I've just thought, Freo, they're just a more reliable team at the moment. And they got the job done, which was great for my tip's sake. And they got it done pretty comfortably in the end. I thought the Saints were going to put up more of a fight than that. But anyways, good win by the Dockers there. Next game at the Adelaide Oval, we had Port Adelaide and the Giants. And don't really have much to say about this game. I didn't really watch it. But the Power got it done pretty comfortably. And for my tip's sake, that's really, really good. Next game at the Gabba, massive upset here. Bombers upsetting Brisbane at the Gabba. Massive result. I did not see this one coming. Who saw that one coming? Comment down below if you tipped Essendon in the comments. I don't think there would have been too many, but Bombers, great win. They've had a really good month, the Bombers. I think they've won 3 of their last 4, which is really good stuff. Good signs for the Bombers after such a disappointing year. Next game at Marvel Stadium, we had the Hawks and the Crows. Didn't watch this game either, but the Hawks proved why they're the better side than Adelaide this year with a very, very, very healthy win by 32 points over the Crows. And just a good solid performance from the Hawks. I know Mitchell Lewis, shout out to him. He's been dominating at the moment for Hawthorn. And just a really good win there by the Hawks. And the last game at Optus Stadium was between West Coast and Carlton. Carlton got the job done, and a massive game as well, because that was a much needed percentage booster for the Blues, and they really needed that game to just increase that and yet help them get towards a top 4 spot. And that win does keep them in top 4 contention. So top 4 is not out of the realms of possibility for the Blues. Anyways, those were my round 17 tips from last week. Like I said, 5 out of 9. It's probably not ideal. In hindsight, probably should have tipped Geelong. Definitely should have tipped Sydney. The Richmond game was unlucky. But yeah, anyways, not a great result. 5 out of 9, not ideal. But yes, those were my round 17 tips, and now let's move on to the round 18. Alrighty, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen, round 18. So unfortunately, no Thursday night footy for this week. I really enjoy Thursday night footy. I don't know why they don't have it every week, but I guess they probably can't due to fixturing issues. But anyway, first game at Marvel Stadium, man. It's kind of not an interesting game, but it's also a very interesting game at the same time. We've got, sorry about that. We've got the Bulldogs and the Saints from Marvel Stadium. Well, both teams were kind of the Dogs especially were very disappointing last week against the Swans. The Saints probably should have put in at least a better result than what they did. They got blown out the water in that second half by the Dockers. This is a 50-50 game. Seems like the Dogs are favourites. Don't really know why. I think the Saints have personally been the better side this year. Just on form, even though both teams are kind of inconsistent. Oh, geez, this is tough. I'm gonna lean towards St Kilda. Dogs. I'm sticking with the Dogs. I was almost about to tip St Kilda, but I think I'm gonna tip the Dogs in this one. They have been an inconsistent side. They let me down last week. I am gonna tip the Dogs. It won't be by much. I'm gonna say 17 points. Dogs to win it by 17 points is my prediction. I know that the Saints have probably been a little bit better this year, but I just have a good feeling that the Dogs will show up. I know I said that last week, but this is the last chance, the Dogs. If they don't win this game, I'm probably not going to tip them again unless they play like North or someone again. So I'm going to tip the Dogs by 17 points. I'm not confident with that one. The Saints, we saw, could beat Carlton. If they could beat Carlton, they could beat the Dogs, the Saints. So that they are a shout to win that, the Saints. But I'm going to tip the Dogs by 17 points in that one. Next game at Adelaide Oval, we've got the Crows and the Pies. The Crows were pretty disappointing against the Hawks last week. The Pies, well, they weren't convincing against North Melbourne in the slightest. This has upset potential because it's at Adelaide Oval, but I think Collingwood have been the better side this year. So I'm going to tip Collingwood. I hope Adelaide win for Richmond's sake, but I'm going to tip Collingwood just to be on the safe side. I'm going to tip Collingwood to win that one. I'm going to say, won't be by much, I'm going to say 14 points Collingwood get that one done by. I think the Crows will definitely put up a fight, but I think Collingwood just a much more classier side, and I think they will run out winners by 14 points. Next game at Giants Stadium, we've got the Giants up against Brisbane. The Lions were not good last week against the Bombers. I know they had a few out with COVID and all that, but still, they had opportunities to win that game, Brisbane. They just didn't take them. The Giants, they were just as disappointing. In fact, maybe even more disappointing against Port Adelaide. I mean, if they wanted to jump a spot, maybe if they wanted to stay in touch, well, they're pretty much out of finals race, the Giants, but they've got nothing to play for. It's not a good look when you get obliterated by a side who's only just one spot above you. It's not a really good look. I think I'm gonna tip Brisbane in this one. I think they're just the better side, Brisbane. I just don't really have much to say. I think Brisbane are just the better side in this one. It's in Canberra, so the Giants kind of play well there, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants win, but I'm going to tip Brisbane just to be safe. Next game at Marvel Stadium. Now, we've got North Melbourne up against Richmond. We played shocking in that second half against Gold Coast. There's no doubt about it. North Melbourne played very well against Collingwood, just couldn't quite get home. And there's something that made me very nervous. David Noble resigning. Now, we know the previous experiences with new coaches. There's a new coach sort of streak that hasn't been yet broken. I'm very worried North could win this game. This is not the time for them to find form. I am going to tip us, but I reckon won't be as big as you think. I think it'll be 21 points. I think we'll win, but it won't be convincing. I'm going to say 21 points. But that is almost a danger game considering how well North played last week. But I'm going to tip Richmond by 21. Surely we can't drop that game. For goodness sake. Next game at the MCG, we've got the Blues up against the Cats. Blockbuster. This is a massive game in terms of the top four. The Cats are obviously now probably almost the favourite to win the flag now. I think they've probably overtaken Melbourne in that stat. But the Blues, while they want to keep top four alive, they've got to win this game. It's at the MCG. If it was at Geelong every day of the week. However, it's at the MCG. If it's at Marvel, I'd probably almost go the Blues. But the MCG kind of makes it neutral turf. I think this might be too far a step for the Blues. This has upset potential because the Blues have won some big games this year, but I'm going to tip the Cats just to be safe. I think they'll win by 19 points. I think the Cats will get up. The Blues will put up a fight, but I think the Cats will just run away with it in the end. I think Hawkins and Cameron will kick a couple, and Geelong will just cruise to a nice victory there. And yeah, I'm going to tip the Cats in that one. Sorry, Louis. Next game at Optus Stadium, we've got Freo up against Sydney. That has upset potential, but I'm going to go the Dockers just because it's in Perth. So you'd expect the Dockers to be too strong in that one. I'm going to say Freo by 17 points. I think they will get the job done there. Next game at the MCG, we've got Hawthorn v West Coast. I actually kind of want to tip West Coast, but I'm gonna lean towards Hawthorn. I think just because they played really, really well. They showed what they can do against the Crows. And I think Mitchell Lewis will cause some headaches for the Eagles' defence. So I'm going to tip Hawthorn in that one. I'm going to say 27 points. I think the Hawks, I reckon they'll be fine at that one at the MCG. Next game in Alice Springs, I should say. We've got Melbourne up against Port Adelaide. The D's were kind of disappointing against the Cats last week. They didn't really look like they were up for it. They were fumbling everywhere. They just couldn't control the ball. The Cats dominated them out of the middle. Port Adelaide played well against GWS. I think it was also GWS not showing up as well. But Port Adelaide, they're trying to keep their season alive. I don't know how. I think there's still mathematically a chance for finals, but I don't think it'll happen. I'm going to predict the D's to bounce back in this one. I think the D's, they're a quality side, the D's. They're never gone. And, we've known that. This time last year, they went for a similar form slump and they regained, didn't lose a game from there. So I think the D's will bounce back in this one. I think it'll be kind of close. But I'm going to say the D's win by 11 points. I think they need to sort out their forward structure, but I think their defence, Port Adelaide will have an absolute tough time getting through their defence. So I think the D's will hold on by 11 points in that one. That is a danger game, though, for the D's. And the final game of the round at Marvel Stadium, we've got the Bombers up against the Suns. Now, when I say this, I am still kind of salty over the Gold Coast Richmond game. But I think the Bombers, they've been in really good form the last month. They've won 3 of their last 4. They smashed St Kilda. They beat Sydney. They beat Brisbane. They did lose to West Coast. But, I'm slightly... I'm going to tip Essendon. I haven't really tipped an upset. That's kind of an upset. So I'm going to tip Essendon in that one just because it's at Marvel and I'm still kind of salty, but I'm trying not to be. I'm going to tip the Bombers by 5 points. I think they will get a really positive win there and cap off a really good month of footy. The Bombers, I think I really underrated them the last month and a bit. I didn't see them beating Brisbane or Sydney a couple of weeks ago. So, I'm going to tip the Bombers in that one as my upset of the week. I'm going to tip Essendon to win over Gold Coast. Not because I'm still salty, but because I actually think they will win, and also I'm constant. No, I'm kidding. I'm not salty. I'm not salty, all right? I'm not salty. Anyways, those were my tips. Let's just go back over them. I tipped Essendon over Gold Coast as my upset. I tipped Melbourne over Port Adelaide in Alice Springs. I tipped Hawthorn over West Coast at the MCG. I tipped Freo over Sydney at Optus. I tipped Geelong over Carlton at the MCG. I know a couple Carlton fans, especially Louis, will let me know about that one. But I think that's a danger game for Geelong. I tipped Richmond, not convincingly, over North Melbourne. I tipped Brisbane over GWS. I tipped Collingwood over Adelaide, not convinced with that one either. That has upset potential. And I tipped the Dogs over St Kilda. I'm terrible with margins, so, you know, I'll change it to... No, not 20 points. 12 points. I'll make it 12 points, the Dogs. I think the Saints, surely they got to put up a fight. I mean, these two are so inconsistent, it's really hard to tell. But I'm going to tip the Dogs by 12 points. I'm not confident with that one either, though. So those are my round 18 tips. But before we go, as always, we're going to have a look at the comp. We don't have any new members, but that is okay. So this is the ladder after 17 rounds. And Ben P has got 100 correct tips. That is unbelievable. So, well done, mate. You are still top of the table. He's 4 tips clear of CMH, who's climbed up one spot, I think. I think he was 3rd or 4th last time. So he's climbed up a spot. So, good job, mate. In 3rd, we've got Tyson R, Magpie Army 2016. He's on 94 correct tips. He got a 5. CMH got an 8. Nice. And Ben P got a 6. We've got Angus, who's climbed in the top 4. That is unbelievable. He got 8 as well. He's on 93 now. He's climbed into the top 4. He's pushed me and Jake L out. Jake L's in 5th. He's 1 tip ahead of me still. Me and him both got 5. Shannon's still in 7th. He got 4 this week. He's on 90 tips. Louis still hanging on to 8th spot. He's 1 tip ahead of Victor B. He got a 5 as well. Victor B also got a 5. He's on 84. Lincoln got a 6. He's on 83. He's 1 tip behind Victor B. D's Nut 69420 got 3, and he's on 53 tips. He's 30 tips behind Lincoln. And we've got Adam S still in 12th, aka last, who got a 4 this week, and he's on 50. The correct tip. So that is my ladder. So once again, shout out to everyone who has joined the tipping comp. You guys are absolute legends. If you want to join my tipping comp, it'll be in the pinned comment and also in the description, as it always is. So yeah, anyways, those are my round 18 tips, and that is my ladder after. So there we go, guys. Those were my round 18 tips for this upcoming round. Comment down below your tips. As always, comment down below how many you got this week if you're not in my comp. On that note, if you want to join my tipping comp, like I said, it'll be in the description and it'll be in the pinned comment like it always is. Remember to leave a like, share and subscribe. Like I said, we're trying to hit 300 subscribers by the final. So if you haven't, click that big red button down below. And yeah, now's your time to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Like, share, subscribe. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Cheers!